flurries out there.
Flurries right now. Right now.
Gotta go back and forth.
Yeah.
You guys will direct me in. Ready?
Welcome to this awesome wedding.
It's not on, don't worry. 5-0. Which one?
Chris.
Perfect timing. Actually, Aaron's walking over. Oh, I'm sorry. You're on.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, love of God, the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all, and with your spirit. All brothers and sisters, in the name of Michael and Paige, I welcome you all for this sacrament of matrimony. We are here in the presence of the Lord. We are here to participate in their joy. As we are ready to participate in their joy, we are also here to help them by our prayers. So, let us understand that we have to pray and ask God's grace for them, that God may fill them with happiness and joy, fill them with good health and bright future. So let us try our best to help them and support them by our prayers. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, when you created mankind, you willed that man and wife should be one. Bind Michael and Paige in the loving union of marriage, and make their love fruitful, so that they may be living witnesses to your divine love in the world. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Please be seated. We will have the readings now.
Blessed are you, O God of our fathers. Praise be your name forever and ever. Let the heavens and all your creation praise you forever. You made Adam and you gave him his wife Eve to be his help and support. And from these two the human race descended. You said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. Let us make him a partner like himself." Now, Lord, you know that I take this wife of mine not just because of lust, but for a noble purpose. Call down your mercy on me and on her, and allow us to live together to a happy old age. They said together, Amen, amen. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Your response: the Lord is kind and merciful. The Lord is kind and merciful. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all my being. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. The Lord is kind and merciful. Merciful and gracious is the Lord, slow to anger, abounding in kindness. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. The Lord is kind and merciful. But the kindness of the Lord is from eternity to eternity, toward those who fear him. And his justice towards children's children, among those who keep his covenant. The Lord is kind and merciful.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Philippians. Brothers and sisters, rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again, rejoice. Your kindness should be known to all. The Lord is near. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Keep on doing what you have learned and received, and heard and seen in me. Then the God of peace will be with you. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Please stand for the gospel. The Lord be with you and with your spirit. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "This is my commandment, love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you. I appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, He may give you." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise the Lord. $100,000 in cash. My mother told me that the secret to a happy marriage was to never harm you, she explained. Instead, I should keep quiet and make a doll. Her husband was touched. Only one doll was in the box. That meant she had been angry with him only once in 60 years. What about all this money? He asked. Oh, she said, that's the money I made from selling the dolls. Dear Michael and Paige, today you are on the threshold of the closest relationship that can exist between a man and a woman, marriage. The first and the most important institution that was created by God Himself at the beginning of time. Today, you declare your love for each other before God and before all those people, your friends here. You commit all of yourself to each other for all time. That's why you give your word to each other, to take each other, for better, for worse, for richer, or poorer, in sickness and in health, all the days of your life. This word you are giving to each other is not just any word, but a solemn promise, a vow before God. Please understand that wedding lasts only one day, but marriage for the rest of your life. So, on this special day, dear Michael and Paige, I would like to give you these following suggestions to have a happy, a peaceful married life. The first thing I would like to give you today is pray and have God in your life. That calls to mind the words of St. John Chrysostom, the famous theologian from the early church, that those who take wife now do as they did at Cana in Galilee. Let them have Christ in their midst. Yes, you may have everything in your life, money, wealth, friends, power, and whatnot. But if you have no God with you in your life, then life won't be interesting. You may not have enough strength to face the difficulties and hardships that will inevitably come in your life. Therefore, have God in your life through regular prayer. That's what we heard from today's first reading that you chose for your wedding. Sarah and David together prayed to God. God heard their prayer and they enjoyed a long life together. And another suggestion, one more suggestion I want to give you today on this special day. You declare your love for each other before God and all those people. That is, keep the love alive and inflamed always in your hearts and in your family. Listen to Jesus' words from John's Gospel that we just now we heard. Love one another as I love you. Jesus commands to love as He has loved. How did Jesus love? He loved until it cost him. He loved all the way to the cross and death. That is love. Love for Jesus means loving even when it means undergoing suffering for the sake of the other. Therefore, we, Mike and Paige, turn to Christ to sustain your love for each other, because Christ blesses your marriage today. Therefore, don't forget to remain in God's love and keep the love alive and inflamed always in your hearts and your family. Finally, dear Paige and Michael, as you begin your life as one today, we offer you a joyful encouragement and congratulate you on the first day of your life together and forever. May the peace of Christ reign in your hearts. Let the message of Christ, in all its richness, find a home with you. God bless you and bless your love. Amen. Dear Michael and Paige, you have come together in this church so that the Lord may seal and strengthen your love in the presence of the church minister and this community. Christ abundantly blesses this love. He has already consecrated you in baptism, and now He enriches and strengthens you by a special sacrament, so that you may assume the duties of marriage in mutual and lasting fidelity. And so, in the presence of the church, I ask you to state your intentions. Michael and Paige, have you come here freely and without reservation to give yourself to each other in marriage?
I have.
Will you love and honor each other as man and wife for the rest of your life?
I will.
Will you accept children lovingly from God and bring them up according to the law of Christ and His church?
I will.
Since it is your intention to enter into marriage, join your right hands and declare your consent before God and His church. I, Michael, take you, Paige, to be my wife. I promise to be true to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life. I, Paige,
I, Paige,
take you, Michael,
take you, Michael,
to be my husband.
to be my husband.
I promise to be
I promise to be
true to you
true to you
in good times
in good times
and in bad,
and bad,
in sickness
in sickness
and in health.
and in health.
I will love you
I will love you
and honor you
and honor you
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
You have declared your consent before the church. May the Lord, in His goodness, strengthen your consent and fill you both with His blessings. What God has joined, men must not divide. Amen. Lord, bless and consecrate Michael and Paige in their love for each other. May thus rings be a symbol of true faith in each other and always remind them of their love. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Paige,
Paige,
take this ring
take this ring
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
as a sign of my love and
In the name of the Father,
fidelity. In the name of the Father,
and of the Son,
and the Son,
and of the Holy Spirit. Michael,
Michael,
take this ring
take this ring
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
In the name of the Father,
In the name of the Father,
and of the Son,
and of the Son,
and of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Now I invite Michael and Paige to the unity camel. Please stand. Brothers and sisters, we have listened to the word of God. Let us now ask God to listen to us, to bless our words of prayer, which we offer for the people of the world, and for our new couple, Michael and Paige. For our Holy Father on the earth, Pope, the Pope, and all the bishops and all and the clergy, wherever they may be, lead us to deeper faith in God and a stronger love for others. Let us pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. For married persons, that they may continue to give and be able to forgive and find happiness deepen with the passing of each day. Let us pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. For Michael and Paige, now beginning their life together, that they may have divine assistance at every moment, the constant support of friends, the rich blessing of children, the warm love reaching out others, and good health until their ripe old age. Let us pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. For all our guests gathered here with us today, may they enjoy the warm company of family and friends and have safe travel on their journey home. We pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. For Michael and Paige, may they live long, blessed life together. May their love grow stronger each and every day. And may they build a family rooted in faith and unconditional love. Let us pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. Let us pray. Loving God, you are the author of marriage. And so we ask you to watch over all married couples, especially Paige and Michael. May each day of married life bring them closer to you because of your continuing guidance and care. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Well, brothers and sisters, let us all join together and pray our Lord's Prayer for Michael and Paige. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. My dear friends, let us turn to the Lord and pray that He will bless with His grace. Thus, Michael now married Christ to this Paige, and that He will unite now the couple He has joined in this holy bond. All pray in silence for a while. Holy Father, Creator of the universe, Maker of man and woman in your own likeness, source of blessing for married life, we humbly pray to you for this Paige, who today is united with her husband Michael in this sacrament of marriage. May your fullest blessing come upon Paige and her husband Michael, so that they may together rejoice in your gift of married love. May they be noted for their good life. Lord, may they both praise you when they are happy and turn to you in their sorrows. May they be glad that you help them in their work and know that you are with them in their need. May they pray to you in the community of the church and be your witnesses in the world. May they reach old age in the company of their friends and come at last to the kingdom of heaven. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. May God, the Almighty Father, keep you of one heart in love for one another, that the peace of Christ may dwell in you and abide always in your home. Amen. May the only Son of God have mercy on you and help you in good times and bad. Amen. May the Holy Spirit of God always fill your hearts with this love. Amen. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Well, brothers and sisters, I'm so happy to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Morton.
Thank
Well, good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Paige's father, Mark. Seeing me now, you understand where Paige gets her good looks from. That would be her mother. On behalf of Mike and Paige, Beverly and Tom, Oni, Glenda and myself, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for coming to celebrate this very special day in the lives of the Conforti-only families. We have family and friends that have traveled here from California, Missouri, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Louisiana, Colorado, Michigan, and Washington. Waukesha. As I mentioned at my son's wedding earlier this year in May, a wedding is one of the only days in our lives that most of the people we love and hold close in our hearts are gathered together in one place to celebrate the public declaration of love for one another. So Paige and Mike, remember to embrace the moments that today has brought and appreciate and enjoy the rest of the evening. I wanted to give a special thank you to Mike's parents, Beverly and Tom Oni, for raising such a fine young man. Here are a few things that I know about Mike. I'm a crier, so I'm ready here. They asked me to go down and meet Paige at the bottom of the steps because all the girls were going down the aisle. I got to the bottom of the steps, I turned, I saw Paige start to cry, I said, I think they sent the wrong guy down to do the job. For those of you who don't know, Paige and Mike met on a plane ride back home to La Crosse. Mike was coming home from a vacation in Vegas and Paige from a business trip in Pennsylvania. They sat next to each other on the flight. Paige tells the story that she quickly exited the plane upon arrival because she didn't want to give out her contact information to this guy who was hitting on her during the flight home. Mike, however, had a different idea and was able to creep on Facebook to find Paige's contact information, and the rest is history. Now, I'm not sure that Mike knew exactly what was in store for him once they started the date. You see, I love my daughter. She's beautiful. Beautifully organized, beautifully motivated, beautifully goal-orientated, beautifully determined, beautifully conscientious, beautifully driven, beautifully religious, and beautifully demanding. After all, she is the product of two teachers. In fact, I'm sure that her beautiful expectations and kind girlfriend, now wifely advice, can sometimes seem a little bit overwhelming to a guy like Mike, who appears to be so laid back. So Mike, I'm passing on you a little gift tonight. A present that I bought my wife on Valentine's Day many years ago that ended up being a gift for myself. It helped me to find the words needed those times when a response was necessary, but the man in me didn't quite know what the womanly response my wife Glenda needed. I hope that this will help you get through the most difficult times when you're not quite sure how to respond to Paige. I have the perfect man. He knows what to say, how to say it. Let's take a quick listen.
Is the best part of my whole day. You're perfect just the way you are.
In late December, when Paige and Mike announced their engagement and plans for today's celebration started to take shape, a friend of mine, Terry Capes, asked if I would be open to hearing some advice that might help me survive the planning stages for this big event. Now, anyone that truly knows me will tell you that I'm as open to advice as my daughter. So, listening would not be a problem. Then Terry eloquently professed that I would have 3 simple tasks in preparation for this evening. He said, show up. I thought, that's easy, I can manage that. He said, pay up. I thought, not as easy as the first, but I think I can make that happen. And finally he said, shut up. I immediately thought, well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. And I think I'm doing pretty well, Paige, until I got the mic tonight, right? So it would be uncanny of me if I did not share a few thoughts from dear old Dad on how to make your marriage a success. Number 1, remember to laugh together. Laughter is a type of communication that brings joy to the heart to those who participate. Number 2, spend the majority of your life living your dreams and appreciating what you have, rather than chasing your dreams and complaining about the things that you're missing. Remember to be short on judgment and long on forgiveness. Number 4, find ways to live, love, and grow together each and every day. A simple walk, a hug, a kiss, and a kind word go a long way. Number 5, keep God in your family. Paige, as your mother always says, through him, all things are possible. Number 6, as your Uncle Grant would tell you, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And finally, be the biggest and loudest cheerleader for one another, for this is the person you have chosen to be your life partner. Now make sure they always feel that you are there to support and love them. If you would all please raise your glass and toast to Mike and Paige. Paige, this is for you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make a straight path. We love you both. Congratulations.
All right, thank you for my entrance there. Now, I feel like I can do anything because I made it through that grand march, and those of you who know me in the audience know I hate dancing. So I made it in, this speech will be easy. So like my introduction said, my name is Nicole Kapoosman. I am the maid of honor in the wedding today. I'm very honored to be asked to stand up next to you guys, so thank you for that. Wanted to start by talking a little bit about how Paige and I became friends. So about 10 years ago, we met at UWL right here in La Crosse. I was so glad I met Paige, not just because she was the only one who actually opened the articles we had to read for class, or was a diligent student who told me when things were due, but really because I met my lifetime best friend. So Paige and I went through it all at our UWL career. We took probably 1 million HR pop quizzes, or at least it felt like that in a night class we had together. We did presentations, we did PowerPoints. We both have moms who are teachers, and so we traded off which mom had to edit our paper when we had something to turn in. So thank you, Sue and Glenda, for getting us through college. But we really did have a blast at UWL. So went through it all, experienced that. I graduated a little bit before Paige. She graduated the semester after. We kind of went on our own paths, and something brought us back together. One night, Paige had called me and had said, let's grab dinner. And I thought, why not? So thank goodness I said yes to that invitation, and thank you for inviting me. We went out to dinner, and it felt like we had lost no time. We laughed like we did when we were in class. We just had a blast, and we just really connected on where we were at in life. And I know that God brought us together for a reason. And since that dinner at TGIF, we have been inseparable. So we started spending almost every day together. We'd go to the Y, and as you saw my Grand March, you can know that I wasn't long for the Zumba classes that we did together. We would just hang out, we'd grab our laptops, we'd go over to someone's house, work, we put in long hours on our careers, had similar goals, and it made being friends very, very easy. Along this whole path, we laughed every single time we were together, and that was probably the best. Being that we lived in Alaska, when we'd get bored and want to watch something on cable, since we were too cheap to pay for it, we'd go to my parents' house, Doug and Sue's house, and steal their cable. So through that, Paige got to know my family really well. She was there through barbecues, birthdays, meeting my nephews when they were born. My sister, who's a photographer today, we joke all the time that Paige is actually our third Westbrook sister, so we have officially adopted her. But through our friendship, not only did Paige gain my family, I gained another family. So Mark and Glenda and Aaron, thank you so much for inviting me into the Conforti family. I've had so many fun memories with you guys. A retirement party that was awesome. A Six Flags trip that we'll never forget, Aaron. Hanging out at the house. Even a night when Mr. Conforti had to pick us up after Summerfest in Milwaukee. So some good memories that we don't want to relive. I also had the opportunity to vacation in Florida with Glenn and Gail, so Grandma and Grandpa Schilling. Thank you for the hospitality. That is one of my favorite trips I've ever taken. I've been able to hang out with Grant and Casey and Aiden and Eleanor as well. So thank you for inviting me into your family, and that's something I treasure from our friendship. So now, getting on to the good part. So along with our trips to the Y and our working on our careers, we may have had a little bit of fun in lacrosse. And we had fun with our good friend Melissa, who's sitting up here with us today, our friend Miranda, this table over here, our friend Monica, our friends in the back, Kelly and Megan. And through all these single girls' nights out, we always hoped we would meet our future husbands. So one day I get a call from Paige, and I knew she was traveling for work. And so I thought, uh-oh, something must be wrong, right? Why is Paige calling me? So I answered my phone, and Paige told me she met a guy on the plane, and she had just gotten off the plane. So, like any overly concerned girlfriend, my first question was, is he cute? She confirmed he was, so we thought it was okay to proceed. So, fast forward a little bit, like Mark had shared, Mike sought out Paige. We all happened to be out at the same festival here in La Crosse, so Paige, Melissa, and I were together.
What is it called?
It was Wiener Fest. Celebrate hot dogs. Actual name of the festival, though, in all actuality. So we were out, we were listening to music as girlfriends. Paige pulls Melissa and I aside and says, that guy I met on the plane is here. So, of course, Melissa and I, keeping our composure, pointed, giggled, glanced obviously at Mike, and ultimately made it really awkward. So we concocted an idea, Melissa and I, that Paige should message Mike and invite him out with us. So she did, and Mike, taking a huge leap of faith to come join a group of girlfriends out, joined us at Stateroom. We hung out with him, he stuck it out through the night with us. We made it to 2 a.m., hit up the hot dog stand here in La Crosse. It was a perfect first date if we have to recount it. So the rest is history, you guys. We're standing here at their wedding thanks to that fateful plane ride. So Paige and Mike. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of your day. I'm so happy for both of you. Mike, I knew you were a keeper when you could put up with Paige and I constantly texting, talking, dragging you and my husband Pat to all our get-togethers, and still putting up with it even though we now live 3 hours apart. So thank you. You guys, marriage is the greatest thing ever. I've said it before, I'm so glad I found my soulmate, and I know you guys have found your God-given soulmate in each other. Marriage is the greatest thing. The worst day with your partner is better than any day without your partner. On my wedding day, my sister stood up and gave me some advice. She said that marriage is raw, real, and rough, and it can be. It's the greatest thing, and it can have those hard times that come through life happenings that occur, and if you're with your partner, you'll get through anything. So I know you guys will continue to navigate the waters and waves of marriage with love, care, and grace like you have. So Mike, thank you for loving my best friend. It's all I could ask for her, and please continue to do so. Thank you guys, we love you. And cheers to the happy couple. Cheers.
All right, one more time for Nicole. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up we have the best men. Kirk Nicholas and Lucas Morrissey, everyone.
I am a good guy, I can hear you.
Alright. Son. Alright. So as you can see, Kirk's losing his hair by the minute, so we'll try to make it short for you guys tonight, alright?
That was the joke that he didn't want to tell me. Really good start, sweet.
So first off, obviously we gotta thank Mike and Paige for bringing us all here together to celebrate this special day. For all those single guys out here, I'm sure you'd agree, but it's a very difficult day as we see another beautiful woman taken off the available list.
Not good.
And well, for all those single ladies out there, I'm sure you'd also agree with me that today has gone by without a ripple.
That wasn't very nice. No, but over the years that Lucas and I have known Mike, he's accumulated more nicknames than anybody I've ever met in my life. Zonin, Garbage Man, Flash, Own Dog, Anne Frank, Hammer, Oni. Money. You're right. Mike also goes by Michael Morrissey and Michael Nicholas, or as our dear friend Adam Pellinger will call him, get over here now. But Lucas, what's our favorite nickname for Mike?
Officer Conforti. Michael Conforti. But besides the handful of nicknames Mike has adopted over the years, he's also embraced a short phrase, Oni being Oni. Right? So Oni being Oni is basically described as any interaction or conversation where Mike puts you in an awkward situation.
We've all had it. Everybody had it.
Just to name a few, right? So Mike had a brilliant idea of bringing a bird call into a high school anatomy class. There wasn't any bird call. I think it was one of his sister's bird call that he actually had to load up with water for it actually to work.
I pitched really loud, terrible, like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Another one, he also persuaded one of our high school football coaches to drive our high school bus called White Lightning. But our favorite is Mike always feels compelled to tackle you at any random moment to put you in an arm bar or choke you out at any given time.
Don't you have a wrist injury right now?
I actually do at the
That's your part of wrist injury from Mike.
Yeah, my wrist actually still hurts. But
Thinks it's broken. I think Doc Morrissey told him to just take Tylenol.
Yeah. What do you got, Kirk?
Plenty. I could go on all night. Besides the, regular butt touches and public wrestling matches, Mike, it's Jenny. I can hear you laughing. Mike, Lucas, and I work for Doug Johnson Landscaping for 5 summers. Doug's in the house, right, Doug? Yeah. Doug told me tonight that I cost him more money than I made him, so probably right. every job site that a snake appeared, Mike felt the need to grab the snake and chase me around while I screamed like a little girl. And I hate snakes. So, Oni being Oni, right? My second favorite was we were sitting in high school in a riveting World War II history class with Coach Dan Coughlin. And Coach Coughlin posed the question, what did planes have, or not have, in World War II that they have today? And without hesitation, Mike said, wings! Which has to be no. Airplanes have to have wings, so that was the incorrect answer. Coach Coughlin didn't talk to us for 3 days after that, so tuition really well spent.
All kidding aside, it's been fun roasting Mike this evening, but as Paige's dad has talked about it, and her matron of honor has talked about it, obviously they met on a plane ride coming back from Vegas, right? So I'll go a little bit more into depth, okay?
He was there.
I was there. I was the one that actually made this night happen, right? I was assigned to sit next to my, by myself, and Oni was assigned to sit next to my brother-in-law. But I decided to change seats to save my brother-in-law the headache of actually sitting next to Mike, right? So Mike sat in a row behind us, empty chair, and sure enough, one of the last people to board the planes was this blonde girl, Paige, right? She's wearing sweatpants, her hood is up, glasses on.
Probably don't talk to me.
Yeah, I got travel clothes on, leisure clothes, I don't want to talk to anybody, right? Mike completely missed all those signs.
No way!
I'm sitting there, and there's probably 100 questions before Paige has even buckled her seatbelt, right? But fate would have it, right? The only good thing about that flight from Minneapolis to La Crosse, I looked it up, its average flight time is 32 minutes. If it was any longer, I don't think we'd be here tonight. Right?
Thank God.
But as I said, they met a couple weeks later, and then the rest is history.
In all honesty though, you know, obviously everybody's really happy to be here. Mike is one of the most stand-up people that I've ever met. You can always count on Mike. Whether it be driving us around at 2 a.m. as a sober driver, or cleaning out Alice and Tim's gutters, which everybody has done. But Mike's been a brother to Lucas and I both, so we're thrilled that he finally found his one and only. I shouldn't say finally, he found his one and only. It's a young guy. You may not know it, but you need Paige to keep you on the straight and narrow. Paige, we're so happy that you've, made Michael happy. We're so happy to include you in our family, in our friend group. We love you so much. And so Lucas and I wanted to dedicate an original Mike Oni poem that he wrote in summer school to you. My guys know what I'm talking about. It's a preposition poem, Michael said. But we put our own little twist on it, so bear with us. Lucas?
On the river.
In the sun.
Beneath the water.
Swims everyone.
Like a duck.
She floats on by.
With Mike the Hammer.
At her side. We love you, Mike.
So we raise a glass to Paige and Mike. Cheers.
One more time for the best men, ladies and gentlemen.
That's some good stuff, boys.
Okay.
Or more than once. And that's how. Alright, you should have ended with that. Minimal. when he was in like 7th or 8th grade. Just embarrassing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the bride and the groom have a little slideshow for us, so we're gonna get going. Bride, if you could hit the lights for us. Hold on, there's music.
Look at the two of you dancing that way, lost in the moment and each other's face. So much in love, you're alone in this place. like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one, she told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman with you be the same freckle-faced kid that I knew? One that I read all those fairy tales to, and tucked into bed all those nights. And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me,
Work all day, work all night, might not get no sleep tonight. Baby, can't stay long. We could fall, we could dance, don't matter the circumstance. We don't let it change us. That's the beautiful thing about us. For all the diamonds and rings, we got trust. Roll with me, get it right, faded on a summer night. See where it takes us. I got real big plans, baby, for you and me. So love me for who I am and for who I'm gonna be. Ain't got everything you want, but got everything you need. So take a chance on me. I got real big plans, baby, for you and me. So love me for who I am and for who I'm gonna be. Ain't got everything you want, but got everything you need. So take a chance on me. I got real big plans. Hold up, baby. I got real big plans. Hold up, baby. Know you're tired, know you're down, know you wanna leave this town. Baby, give me 1 year, yeah. Take my hand, take a leap, girl, you gotta take it take it from here. That's the beautiful thing about you. I know that you do the same in my shoes. Every sweat, why don't we go there? I got real big plans, baby, for you and me. So love me for who I am and for who I'm gonna be. Ain't got everything you want, but got everything you need. So take a chance on me. I got real big plans, baby, for you and me. So love me for who I am and for who I'm gonna be. Ain't got everything you want, but got everything you need. So take a chance on me. I got real big plans. Hold up.
gentlemen just did, and Nicole, but we'll get started. First and foremost, how about my beautiful bride? How does she look? In my words, it'd be called a bombshell. So first and foremost, as Mark already had mentioned, I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming as far as you did, whether it was just a couple blocks away to as far as California, etc. That truly does mean the most to us, to have our closest loved ones, family, friends here to celebrate with us today. It truly does mean more than you guys can really understand. And as I say, this speaks on behalf of both of us. I want to move into thanking just everybody that helped out, getting this together and making it all happen. I'm going to first start off with Tim and Debbie Paulson. They helped basically set up the hall out there, in here, set this thing up, which Mr. Kapoosman, I don't know what the heck you had planned for this, but Westbrook, I'm sorry. But it was really, no instructions, didn't make it very easy. We still have a pile of pipes back there. I don't know what they're for, but we made this happen, so. Before I'd like to thank Piggies and their entire wait staff, the barkeeps, bartenders, everybody that's been here, the chefs. The food, I will say, was excellent. I would like to thank Savannah and her Endless Images photography. A little shout out. She did a heck of a job getting us through all the photo ops that we had after the wedding, during the wedding, for the wedding, etc. She really did a heck of a job with that, and I know that takes a lot on your guys' end to make sure it goes as planned, to keep her satisfied and moving forward. As Mark said, she is quite demanding, but you did your job. Morrison Media. Ben, he's our videographer. Known Ben for some time. He is actually a classmate of mine through middle school, through high school. Knew of him, in the elementary school. We didn't go to the same school, but we were competitors in sports. But I appreciate you and everything you've done for us this evening. Gentlemen, DJ Z Will. Zach flew in from New York, and he's been doing this for a lot of our high school friends' weddings, and this is something I know he loves to do, and I wouldn't ask anybody else to do it. This guy, you just wait, get on the dance floor, you're going to be surprised here, guys. This guy's going to get it popping in here. I'd like to thank Mark and Glenda for hosting tonight's event. Obviously, as you can see, everything that was put together was not just done by us. Those two put together a lot of this stuff at their house, and really made the setup that you see here today what it is, as beautiful it is, and it truly does mean a lot to make this room sparkle and everything that we asked for. As it's already been made known how Paige and I met, I thought it was only necessary that I needed to thank Deb and John Morrissey for inviting me along on the trip to Las Vegas over the March Madness. Without that opportunity, clearly I wouldn't have been able to snag this fine-looking woman right here. All right. All right, we're going to move on to the bridal party. All right, so I'm going to start with the ladies. All right. I wanted to try to make it somewhat personal with each and everyone. I didn't have great stories with everyone, but I've got to know them all in various ways. And the first one would be Miranda. My first encounter with Miranda, well, I guess it's technically the second, but it's the one I remember most. We were celebrating our first Oktoberfest together, Paige and I. I wanted to hang with my friends, Paige wanted to hang with her friends. Their story's a little different. Well, that's what I do. Needless to say, Miranda came to save the day and scooped us up, and we spent the night at her house. She took care of us, made us some food that they had left over, or whatever the heck it was, I don't even know. But it was a very rough patch right from the beginning, and she made it that much better in a hurry. So I appreciate, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Hospitality, that's the word. Hospitality. And making us get through that, our first rough patch.
Thank you, man.
Alright. Move in, we got Melissa and Nicole. Don't you worry. Over the last couple years, obviously I've gotten to know you both. One thing, it's just truly remarkable to see you guys' relationship. As Nicole already mentioned, you know, we started off here, everyone was in the Crosse area. Nicole ended up moving from Alaska to Winona for a little while. But we were all pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. We were all just getting together. But eventually, our lives took us where they were, and we went our separate ways. And all together, Melissa's still here in La Crosse, Nicole's in Eau Claire, and we're in Appleton. So we're all together about 3 hours apart from each and every one of us. And the fact, you know, I'm gonna skip that part. Your relationship hasn't been hindered one bit. You guys continue to have your long conversations on the phone. That's on here, don't you worry. But it's something that I've seen through you guys, your three together. Your relationship is very similar to mine, Lucas and Kirk's. You guys find a way, no matter the distance, to keep each other together and closest at your hearts at all times. And as you just mentioned, there's an app called Marco Polo. This is our nightly routine as we're going to bed. And it's actually really throughout the entire day. They're live streaming themselves and sending videos, and it's a group. And they're constantly updating and gossip and their entire day from every waking minute. So, I don't know, it's a very strange thing. We're trying to sleep, and she's giving updates, and then she flashes at the camera over at me. I'm, you know, starting to snore. And I wake up because I'm a very light sleeper, and there might be a few words, and then tell her to go to bed. No, but for real, it's a true testament to you guys' relationship and the friendship, and I just can't say thank you enough for the love and support you had given to her through your guys' friendship and to both of us as we have started our journey together. I know it takes a lot to share her, but I appreciate it. Lastly, to my younger sister, Hannah. I have two other sisters that are sitting over here. I don't want to, you know, sell you too high, but she was the one that was sort of, I guess you could say, the closest. First to meet Paige. She lives up in the UP, and she was able to meet the Conforti family and some of the Schillings at the family cottage that was brought up earlier. And she was connected with Paige right off the bat, and just being able to see them connect and welcome not only myself, but my sister into the family and everyone else as they've gotten to meet them has been truly a blessing. And I know it's been the normal brotherly love relationship, not only with Hannah, but the rest of my sisters. We won't get into detail with that, but honey, she said wrap it up. Back to that demanding comment. We'll move on. I love you, Hannah. Thank you. All right, to the ushers. Zach and Sam. Where you at? Hey! Sorry you guys didn't make the cut. Won't even know, right? No, for real. If we had room for a couple more guys up here, you guys would be up here, and you guys know that, right? Things never get old. We'll just move on. Thank you. All right, to my groomsmen, we're gonna start down at the end. Down the end here, we got Jared. Jared I met, I knew of him somewhat in high school. He was a couple years older, went to Logan. He was a big wrestler. Saw him, he was good. Didn't ever want to wrestle him, never had to, was very thankful. We met again, crossed paths over at Viterbo University, first when we started playing rugby. Through that, I always had an interest in joining the military. Jared already had joined by the time that I had met him, and he basically helped me talk me into joining the military, making that extra push, and then ultimately ROTC, where I commissioned as an officer. Just a few things with Jared. Over the years I've gotten to know him, and he's really been, I guess you could say, a true mentor to me. He's been moving all over the country the last 10 years after he commissioned, and the first thing he does when he's coming back or about to come back is he's calling me to figure out if I can make a trip back to La Crosse or wherever I am at the time to be able to see him. And if he can't, he finds a way to make it happen where he meets me halfway or wherever we got to do. And I can't thank him enough for that friendship and that constant consideration for me, even though we're miles and miles apart, and he's got a whole lot of other stuff going on, and I'm always one of his first people he wants to see when he gets back. Jared is my big fishing buddy. We skipped many classes, or would in college, or we'd go immediately after at the end of the day, take me out bass fishing, show me the ropes. If you guys want to get out fishing, this guy is the one to go with. He knows where the honey holes are around here, and obviously has found many throughout the country as he's been stationed at several different locations. The only thing I have to say is his worst judgment he made is we went an almost 5.5 mile run yesterday. I haven't ran in many months, and we decided to run up the bluff and the trails and all around and that stuff, and that was probably the worst idea he's ever had in his entire life. And I think God told him the same thing, because he had a pretty big stumble on the way down and face planted in the mud.
Jared.
Jared.
Yes.
You gotta leave it. I'm sorry. All I can say though is I appreciate everything you've done for me, Jared. The constant reminder to keep pushing, moving me forward in my military career, and giving me advice, and just being that friend that we always wanted.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
All right. We got Kirk and Lucas. Not exactly remembering when this came about, but the nickname became Mick Kirkus, Mike Kirk Lucas. Another nickname you forgot. To be honest, I could go all day about both of these guys. But we're not going to do that because I keep getting words from here and there. But Kirk and I go back as far as kindergarten through grade school or high school. We ended up living together after college for a couple different locations, including his parents' house. That was fun. No, it really was. I'll get to that. Yeah, they have a candy drawer, and it disappeared, but they brought it back today for me. But no, Kirk has been one of my best friends since the get-go. He's been somebody that I always could rely on and talk to if I needed to. I probably was at his house more than my house when I was growing up, just because he had a pool and all sorts of other stuff we could do. I appreciate Nick's family for, again, welcoming me in as basically like one of their own sons as well. And the use of your pool, not only as kids, but they have to bar pool parties when you guys are on vacation.
It didn't happen.
Talk too long.
I know you know about a couple of them, but there's a few more. We have Lucas. Lucas absolutely hated this kid. I'm not kidding. I hated his guts in elementary school. This kid is a phenom. That's what we call a phenom basketball player as 5th grader. And then 6th grade, and then 7th grade, and on and on and on. And I like to think I was good at basketball. That one of the nicknames is Garbage Man. I did all the scrappy work. I wasn't a shooter. Thanks, Hayden. No, but the only reason I hated him was just because he was so good and you could never stop him, and that was the only reason. But over the years, you know, we all obviously became friends and got closer and spending more and more time. And same thing, I became that much closer to not only him but also his parents and his family. Obviously, I was invited on a Vegas trip, which was pretty cool. The one thing I just know I need to keep Lucas on my side. He is the luckiest guy in the world. Not only because he just found his one and only in Carolyn. They just got engaged a few months ago. But also because he wins every pull tab he gets. Almost every time he plays spooky spins except last night. I don't know what happened there. Blackjack. What else is there? Oh, he makes the craziest shots, you know, we'll do a, I don't know, spinning 360 backwards hook shot from 3/4 court and the swish, you know, he wins the bet. You pretty much name it. We go, again, way back, probably middle school when we actually started all hanging out. The other thing that, you know, honey. Reinhardt Stroll has a family cemetery on Losey Boulevard in the Crosse. Did a lot of events in that cemetery over the years. And one of them is, we like to go between, I don't know if there's like a Jewish cemetery on the end or something. And then, well, I'm serious, that's what it was. It separated the Catholic, and there's a gap. There's no offense intended. We take a water balloon launcher, and we're trying to shoot cars on Losey Boulevard in the dark. None of us can hit the cars. They're always going way over. Lucas shows up late, gets there, first try, boom. Next thing you know, we were cops. Next thing you know, we're running. Never got caught.
Now you will.
No, but for real, you guys have really meant the most to me throughout, you know, our journey. You guys have welcomed Paige in the friend group. She's gotten to see how we really interact, and it's nothing but wrestling, yes, and chokeholds and love, brotherly love. But I can't say enough to you two for truly, you know, making this day as special it is and being here and standing next to us and, you know, showing your love and support and continue this friendship forward. It truly is an honor to have friends that we've had for that long when you're that young to this point. I've been reminded many times that that's not common, and I'm starting to realize that. I appreciate that. All right, we got Aaron. My beautiful bride's brother.
You can fast forward, you took enough time.
Gotten to know Aaron quite well over the last couple years as well. I want to also congratulate him, as Mark already said. He just got married this early spring summer. A very pop-up out of nowhere wedding, and it was one of the most beautiful ones I've ever been at the Concordia household. No, like you said, we got to fast forward. But I just want to say, being able to see, you know, your love with Gabby, bringing in Theo and everything, and just seeing how your family has grown, and just seeing the true love and commitment you have to her, and the dedication you give to her, that's something that truly does inspire me, and something I want to see and have with Paige, and I have no doubt that, you know, through you guys' influence and continuing to be with you guys and spending time, that we're going to be able to mirror and shadow you guys' relationship and continue forward in that way. If there's one thing that I've learned from Aaron is, as you grow up, as you grow older, never grow up. That's where I was getting at. And where I'm going with that is, shortly before Aaron's wedding, we went to go, what is it called?
Airsoft.
Airsoft. So instead of paintball, we did an airsoft course. And believe it or not, there were several people way older than us at it, and you're all dressed up and decked out, and it's a lot of fun going around. You got to shoot like 12-year-olds in the head with pellets. Makes you feel good about yourself until the other 12-year-old comes around with a machine gun, and he gave me this little one-shooter. Didn't go well at that point. But no, it truly does mean a lot to have you as my one and only brother, and I can't wait to see where our adventures take us in the future.
Less airsoft, apparently.
Alright. Trying to. Alright, we're moving on to my parents. Honey, I have this. First, to my mom and dad, and my mom, you both have raised me well. You've been there through everything. As growing up, you guys were always involved in all the activities. My father was always there as a kid for all my sports, helping out as a coach. Didn't miss a single game all the way through high school. Got me into Boy Scouts and had some of the most lasting memories I've ever made, and some trips in that, including one of them was to Banff, Canada, and some of you have heard those stories. Again, another time, but my mom, for your wonderful cooking over the years, the wonderful haircuts up until high school, into high school where they started to get a little shaky, but truly grateful for those. And then lastly, for you two to truly put your best interests in not only myself but all of your kids by putting us through the Cooley Catholic school system. Financially, I know that was not something that was the easiest for our family, but Lord, tell me to stop this. But you guys truly have built what you see here today. There's a lot of life lessons through that, and giving me the opportunity to meet, these great friends through those, being able to attend those schools. And I couldn't ask you, I couldn't love you, say I love you enough for everything you have done for now and myself, but welcoming Paige into the family, and
yeah. Woo!
To Mark and Glenda, I keep it short because Paige is going to talk about you too. Again, for welcoming the family with open arms from the very beginning. You both have gone out of the way since day one to help not only myself but Paige with moving in, painting the walls, and Debbie as well. Many projects around the house, and being the one that Paige can call when I'm not making her happy, to get her back on the straight and narrow. And last, I have my bride. You look absolutely stunning. I mean, as we already said, you are the bombshell that I've always been dreaming of. I just want everyone to know how lucky I am to be able to stand here next to Paige, to be able to be welcomed into her family with open arms, and just to be able to know that I'm going to have her by my side through thick and thin the rest of my life. Paige is intelligent, sensitive, sometimes funny, caring, loving, and well, to be honest, this list is endless, but I can't read Paige's handwriting anymore, so. No, but for real, Paige is truly my best friend. She knows me, understands me, believes in me, my dreams, my career path, has sacrificed a lot, not only with my career path in law enforcement, but also with military and the time I've spent away with that. And she's the one that truly pushes me to be the best and motivates me and keeps me on my toes, even though I'm always on my toes, it seems like. And I honestly, I couldn't imagine meeting a better woman that truly is putting my best interests first, almost seems like more than her own. And all I can say is that I truly am the most blessed person for being able to find you and have you be my one and only. And I can't wait to see where we build our family and our future and take on this, wonderful journey and adventure that we have ahead for us. And I just look forward to see where life takes us. I love you, honey.
And I am just going to say thank you. We love you all. I have a whole list, but you took up the whole time. So I'm just going to say thank you, love you all, see you on the dance floor. Okay. So Mike wants me to say, the only group he did not include is our grandparents. He mentioned our parents, both sets of our parents.
I said a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to. We split it in half.
Stole the thunder. We just want to say thank you to my grandmother here in front. She is 96 years old. She made the trip here from California just to see us get married. So we are so grateful that she is here with us today. We also, this is where I get choked up. We also want to thank my grandparents, Glenn and Gail Schilling. They have been so influential in my life. My grandma has always told me since I was little, if she can't be here on this day, she will be looking up from above and she will be here. So I'm so grateful that she's here live, got her makeup done today and ready to hit the dance floor. So again, love you all. Really looking forward to hopefully partying with you tonight on the dance floor. Cheers.
Cheers. Sundance.
Can't wait. Can't wait, Kurt.
Don't stop while you're just take my hand, hold it tight. I will protect you all around. Now, baby, don't you cry. Oh, I'm so smart, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This one between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mike and Bev. All right, if Paige and Mark could please make your way to the dance floor. Ladies and gentlemen, the father-daughter dance.
Mama's looks, mama's eyes, her old man's fight inside. Stubborn heart, gypsy soul, tell me where does the time go? Gonna dance with my daughter, spin her around under the lights, 'cause I'm just a father making the most of this moment in time before she lets me go. I'll hold her close, caught in this race against time. Right now all I want is to dance with my daughter tonight. Greatest gift in the world is a new baby girl. Feels like I took a chance, placing her here in my hands. Gonna dance with my daughter, spin her around under the lights, 'cause I'm just a father making the most of this moment in time before she lets me go. I'll hold her close, caught in this race against time. Right now all I want is to dance with my daughter tonight. Dance with my daughter, spin her around under the lights, 'cause I'm just a father making the most of this moment in time before she lets me go. I'll hold her close, caught in this race against time. Right now all I want is to dance with my daughter. Sent straight from heaven, came down and I caught her. For now all I want is to dance with my daughter tonight. Oh, dance with my daughter tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Paige and Mark. All right, Paige, you stay right where you are, miss. And if I can get a Mr. Michael Oni to the dance floor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first dance for Mr. and Mrs. Mike and Paige Ondog.
Never been one to ask for help. I need a mountain to move myself. I hate the church pew regular twice on Sunday. Quote you the scripture kind. I'm far from
preacher, but I'm a believer. 'Cause every single day before I knew your name, I couldn't see your face, but I prayed for you. Every heartbreak trail when all hope failed, on the highway to hell, I prayed for you. I kept my faith like that old King James said I'm supposed to. It's hard to imagine bigger than I could fathom. I didn't know you from Adam, but I prayed for you. Someone to love me like you do. Graceful eyes to see me through. A smile that steals me, a heart that heals me, a touch that kills me too. Baby, you're perfect. I guess the good Lord heard it. 'Cause every single day before I knew your name, I couldn't see your face, but I prayed for you. Every heartbreak trail when all hope failed, on the highway to hell, I prayed for you. I kept my faith like that old King James said I'm supposed to. It's hard to imagine bigger than I could fathom. I didn't know you from Adam, but I prayed for you. Every single day before I knew your name, I couldn't see your face, but I prayed for you. Every tail light fade in the goodbye rain, girl, even today I prayed for you. I kept my faith like that old King James said I'm supposed to. It's hard to imagine bigger than I could fathom. I didn't know you from Adam, but I prayed for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mr. and Mrs. Michael and Paige Oni. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's make our way to the dance floor. We got a good amount of time. We're going to be moving and grooving all night. My name is DJ Z Will. I'm going to be your DJ tonight. You want to hear something, let me know. I'll try and play it. But let's get everyone else on the dance floor. And I'm talking about the bridesmaids, the groomsmen. I'm looking at you. Lucas, get your ass on the dance floor. Bring your 6'4" ass out here.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be
I'm not seeing it. Man, I see you. Get your ass on the dance floor. Rickaway, earn your keep. Sam Peterson. Where's Kirk Nicholas, everybody? His sister's here, Kirk.
that tonight's gonna be a good
Petey, get your ass on the dance floor. Jen, I'm looking at you.
That tonight's gonna be a good night. 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 Tonight's the night. Let's live it up. I got my money. Let's spin it up. Go out and smash it. Like oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Let's kick it off. I know that we'll have a ball. Let's get down and go out and just lose it all. I feel stressed out. I wanna let it go. Let's go way out, spaced out, losing all control.